Hi, and welcome to the Sit Down with Suzanne podcast. I am your host, Suzanne, otherwise known as Positively Suzanne. I am a life coach, a minister, a published author, and a leader with over 20 odd years of experience leading multi-million dollar corporations. And I am here for your listening pleasure. So I know I've taken a few weeks off. A few things came up that I had to attend to. I am telling you guys, this COVID situation is no joke. I'm okay. I do not have COVID. But, I've just been in contact with so many people that have been in contact. So there's third party, fourth party, fifth party contact. And, truthfully, there is a concern. I have to protect my family and my loved ones. My mom, I haven't been around my mom because she's elderly and, I want to protect her health. And you know what, guys, COVID-19 is not a political thing. We've just got to do the right thing. And if you don't believe in masks, then do not go outside with others because you could be asymptomatic and you could be spreading the symptoms. So stay home. If you don't want to put a mask on, let's try this. Let's all wear a mask, social distance, for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and then we'll be able to move forward. I'm excited because there's a vaccine out. Obviously somebody like me is not going to get access to it for quite a while. Absolutely need to give it to the frontline workers and all those people that are working every day to save the lives of millions, of American. But, you hear the story about hospitals being overrun at 98% capacity, 99% capacity. People are being turned away. So let's do our part. I personally am committed to doing my part, to wearing a mask every single time I'm out, to wearing a mask wherever I am inside a building, to social distance, to continue to wash my hands and things like that. So that's just my plug about COVID-19. Let's do our part. I honestly don't want to go through another year like we went through. So let's leave COVID-19 in 2020 where it belongs. So this episode, I'm really excited to talk about it because it's come up a lot, with people that I work with, people that I talk to, and a few people that I am currently in the process of coaching. And, it's going to be actually one of my longest titles to date, and it's called, a thin line between love and hate with social media because, social media, it's a tool, right? And it's something that we all use, but there is also that aspect of social media that can make you lose confidence in yourself, that could make you feel like you're not successful, even though you are successful. It is no secret that we live in a digital era, right? So we have to adapt to the times. In social media, billions of people use social media, and it's not only in America, it is all over the world. You could connect with people from all over. I have people listen to my podcast that are in different countries. Not many, but there are a few that are in different countries that listen to the podcast. So we know that there are quite a few people who utilize the social media. But, there's a lot of choices out there. When I think about social media, I think about the big platforms, right? So I think about YouTube. It is the second most used search engine following Google. I don't know if people know this about YouTube. So I do try to maximize and use YouTube, but I don't get on it as often as I would like. Then there's also LinkedIn, which is for business professionals. But I know that there's been a lot of people who have found success on LinkedIn, with their podcasts. I haven't gone that route yet. Then there's Facebook. Facebook is what it is. I think it's changed tremendously over the years. And, one of the things I use Facebook for is to keep in touch with family and friends, but I also utilize it to join groups. There's a lot of groups that I'm a part of that are truly beneficial to me. So I think it's great for groups. And then, you have Twitter. I think it's that, that tweet, right? That hashtag moment, get it out there. There's going to be great debate on Twitter, things like that. There's Snapchat. Honestly, I don't use it quite as well as I should, but there's people's always doing Snapchat, but there's so much content on it. There's stories you can follow. There's tutorial. There's a lot of things on Snapchat. There's TikTok that you could post videos. You can build your audience, and parlay that into other areas of social media because they will follow you once, you've built up a following on one platform. You can carry them over to another platform because now they know what you put out there, and they like it, so they'll follow you. And then Instagram, which I think is one of the biggest one. And I think it's the one that I use the most. I love Instagram, but here's the thing that people don't realize, that oftentimes the things that are on Instagram are not true. And here's why. Okay, so, and there's another one that I do have to shout out to you, which I absolutely haven't mastered. It is Pinterest. A lot of people use Pinterest. So there's all these options for you. There's a plethora of social media platforms for you to choose from. So pick the one that works best for you. And as much as you want to keep up with everything, I mean, to me personally, and, maybe you're different, it is very hard for me to keep up with and do every single one of them. So my suggestion for you would be to invest your time in finding the right one, the one that works for you. There's a lot of people who seem like they have a master's degree in social media because they manage to navigate every single one of them. And kudos to them if they have that sort of time, but I don't. And then another thing that's popular, social media agencies where people represent you and they're always constantly reaching out to me via social media, DMing me and things like that. A lot of them I ignore because when I go on their page, so they're reaching out to me saying they're a social media agency and they can help me build and things like that. They don't have a lot of followers. They don't have a lot of posts and things like that. And then I also want to be authentic, and I want to ensure that the followers that I get are authentic. So if somebody says to me, I'm going to grow your base by 5,000, in a week or less than a week, I'm hesitant to believe that, because I'm like, are these just bots and fake accounts or things like that? I want to be able to engage with people and, post content that's relevant to them and things like that. So I'm a little hesitant, but there are some reputable social media agencies out there. So if that's the route you want to go, you want to make sure that you follow up and you do your research. But if you can't afford it, because there is a cost associated with it, right? There's a cost for everything. You want to ensure that you figure out which one is best for you. Do your research so that when you devote your time for it, that, it's worth it, that it works out for you. One of the things I learned at a conference that I went to, my goodness, was last year, but it was like, don't post and ghost. And I do that a lot of times because I would post in the mornings before I go to work, and then I get out of work, and then I'm not able to go back on social media till the night when I come home, sometimes during lunch. So when I have the opportunity to go and engage with, different people that I follow, different influencers, people that you enjoy their content, I like their posts, I'll make a comment and things like that. So I think that engagement, that interaction is going to help you build up your followers. And, when you're engaging with them, I think they love that. So honestly, personally, for me, I do post and go sometimes, but it's not because I am deliberately doing it. It's because I truly don't have the time. It's a lot of free time, but I believe that it's important that you engage with your audience. I think that, love them or hate them, you can learn from the Kardashians about social media. I mean, listen, they're visible. They're everywhere. They are branded, and they utilize multiple platforms. But I think that it's hard for one person, especially somebody just starting out, to utilize all these platforms and, give truly valuable content on every single one of them. Chances are you are selling either a product or a service, right? So exposure is important. And, people always say there's no bad press, but you want to make sure that you're getting the right exposure. You want to make sure that the platform that you choose is something that's going to work for you. If you can't do them all, I will encourage you to do the research, to the ones that's going to benefit the most from you. You don't post on a site, you're on a vegetarian site and you're posting about steak. So you want to make sure, me and my metaphors, right? You want to make sure that the site is working for you. Couple of things to ask yourself though. Who is your audience? Who are you targeting and where are they? So when you do that research, That's going to help you narrow down what platform you're going to use. And then, another question you want to ask yourself is, can your audience connect with you via this social media platform? How can they connect with you? How can they engage? And what's the next step? Do you have a call to action for them? If you're selling a product or a service, how can they get your product or your service? And is there a way for them to share so that, they can engage with others about your product or service, so that you can also not only build your social media influence, but you can get actual real sales? And then other things that I'll encourage you, and sometimes it is challenging because, we have jobs, we have home, we have kids. It's to be consistent. Try to post. I mean, you don't have to post every day or every 5 minutes, but you want to post consistently. Like, don't go 2-3 weeks without posting, because it's a viral world and people's attention span sometimes just go like that. So you want to remain relevant and you want to continue to post, and you want to make sure your posts, and this is a big thing for me, reflects who you are. Just make sure that, if you're retweeting or resharing or reposting somebody's post, that it aligns with your message. If you're selling one thing and then you're going to post something that is totally not aligned with who you are, you might tend to lose some people because they're thinking you're just doing this for the hype and the likes. You're not doing this authentically. So it's that vegetarian meat situation again, right? If you are a vegetarian company and you're posting about living the life of a vegetarian, you shouldn't be posting, videos of yourself chomping down on a steak. That's all I'm saying. All right. So once you've answered these questions, asked yourself and then answered these questions, I think it will get easier for you to navigate the social media medium, and your visibility will absolutely increase. So, I mentioned the title of this podcast, right? I think it's my longest title yet. A thin line between love and hate of social media. Instagram, like I mentioned earlier, is one of my favorite platforms. But you know what? Honestly, it can also be demotivating. And that's where I come with the love and the hate. Because if you follow the hype of Instagram, you believe that everybody on there is living their best lives. They're buying homes and cars and, name branded clothes, and they're going on fabulous vacations. And, everybody have the picture perfect shot, with the husband and the kids smiling and the house is perfect. And, all of a sudden you were just celebrating, right? You finally moved out of your parents' home and got your first apartment, but then somebody's posting like they bought their house and they're 25 and they just graduated college, and you're like, all of a sudden you're feeling demotivated. I am telling you, if you can, do not believe the hype. All right. There's an endless list of things that people post on social media that is not accurate. And it can honestly erode your confidence, and it will make you not want to try. But you have to go on there and know that there's going to be people on there that are flexing, and not just celebrities, because I'll see celebrities post, but I'll see just, random average person posting like, I follow this one shot and I gained this and I got that and I bought this house and I started real estate 2 months ago and now I'm buying houses and I'm flipping, and you've seen these pictures of these houses. Kudos to them if that's really true, but I'm not going to let that make me feel bad about the things that I have. And I'm going to encourage you, don't feel bad about the things that you have. And, you'll go ahead and you'll make a really awesome post, and then you'll get a lot of likes on this post, right? And then you'll see somebody that posts something and they'll get triple your likes in a matter of minutes or seconds. And, again, you get discouraged. First of all, don't look at the likes. You know what? The likes are not often quantifiable, right? There's not always a direct correlation of likes to the product sold. So yeah, popularity is important. But to me personally, I found that I've sold content without getting maximum likes, because sometimes people will reach out to you for something. So just continuing to show up every day, being you, continue to be authentic, continue to put out quality product, quality service, and the people will come to you. I do believe that social media marketing helps. I can't say it doesn't, but it's not the likes that's going to get you the success. It really and truly boils down to you creating a quality product and constantly grinding. Did you hear me? Constantly grinding to get in front of the public's eye. That is what is going to garner you the most I mean, the greatest ROI, return on your investment. So social media is important, yes, but it's not the be all and the end all. All right. And like I said before, even celebrities with that picture perfect family, some of them exaggerate. They show you the before. I should say the after, because, the total meltdown of the kids, things like that. And you'll see the kids and then you're like, wow, those are some well-behaved kids. But 2 seconds before, there was like a screaming match going on. So listen, remain true to yourself. Don't change up your strategy every time you see somebody post something. Sometimes the hardest thing to be is to be yourself in a world where it seems like everyone is being something else and getting noticed for it. Just continue to be you. You'll continue to get a lot of solicitations from people selling you products and things like that, their program, their masterclass, and why it is the thing to do to get successful. And hey, some of it might work, and you know what? Some might not. Be mindful of signing up for everything, and even the free options, because sometimes it's just not worth it. Then you're bombarded with email and spam and junk, and then you're just stuck. So deactivate things that you don't use. Actually, if you haven't touched that in 3 months, I'm going to give you 3 months, not even saying a month. If you haven't used it in 3 months, move on from it. And another thing's about right? You'll look at a celebrity and you'll see like a 2-3 million likes on a picture. But when you look at their following, they have like 15 million. So don't get discouraged. If you have, 100 followers and you get 10 likes, that is a lot. Like I said, they have 15, 20, 30 million followers and they get 1 million or 2 million likes. So, look at it like that. So stop focusing on the like. And, that's the thing that caused you to hate on the social media platform, right? Hence my title, because you feel like you're the only one not getting the likes. You're the only one not as successful. And, avoid embellishing. I mean, make things look pretty, put out quality product, show your best self, but, don't over exaggerate or embellish. I mean, one of the things I try not to do, and I don't want to say I'll never do it, but the Snapchat filters, right? You'll see people post these Snapchat filters and they, it gives you the lashes and it removes the blemishes and things like that. And I play around with Snapchat with my friends and I'll post this picture and, one day they'll end up posting a picture of their natural face. And it's not that they're unattractive. It's just that they look completely different from the person that you had been seeing on Snapchat, with those Snapchat filter the entire time. So, and I'm not even talking the bunny ears, because I know nobody's walking around with bunny ears and dog's nose, right? But you can make social media work for you. So yes, there is a very thin line between love and hate, because there will be moments on social media that you feel absolutely accomplished, you feel great, and then in the next breath, either somebody posts something or your content is not getting, the traction you thought it would, or somebody will post something negative or misconstrue what you're trying to say and they'll come after you. And then, you want to just shut down social media and go dark. So be smart about it, use social media, but be mindful and don't take it personal. That would be my advice to you, because you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't define you. So I hope that helps you a little bit. I certainly appreciate social media. I use it as much as I can to promote my brand, Positively Suzanne, to promote my book, Detoxifying Leadership. But I've been known to take breaks, and not because, I felt bad about something, but it's because I'm tired and it's because I'm doing a lot and I just need a break. It's kind of like, during the election time, I had to take a break from social media. It was just every day that vile vitriol, just the bitterness, the anger, the hatred and things like that. I just couldn't listen to it every single day. So make social media work for you. Know that you're awesome. And if you need to take a break, but go back grinding, because every single person on social media, they're either selling a product or a service, or they're letting people know who they are and that they're having a great life. So, and sometimes the life isn't great. So be you, remain true to you. So as always, I thank you for listening. I know Christmas is coming up soon, so I will do my best to get an episode out before Christmas. I know I took a little longer break than I meant to. Just wasn't able to get into the studio to record. Like I said, life got in the way, and I wanted to do an end of the year wrap up for 2020 show. So at least 2 more episodes coming before the end of the year. So look out for that. And then 2021. Yep, that's coming. So excited about that. So excited. Just so many great shows planned and in the process right now of working on the guests. So bear with me. I'm going to be putting out an ad soon because I am looking for guests. So certain topics. So looking forward to that. But as always, and I know I said it before, I am so grateful and appreciative of every single one of you that took the time to listen to this podcast, to follow me on social medias, Positively Suzanne, to write me an email. And if this podcast has touched you in any way, please do a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on iHeart, on Pandora. I am on Amazon. I am on all the podcasts and platform. So please go ahead, share a review, share the podcast with somebody, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, email me, DM me. I want to hear from you. I pray that you got something out of this because I certainly got something out of it. And as always, this is Suzanne signing off and saying, until next time, stay true to you.